Chairman, it's great to see you here at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Thank you again for joining me.
Great to see you.
Mr. Chairman, the World Economic Forum gets underway against the backdrop of some real instability in the Middle East region and genuine geoeconomic and geopolitical challenge. How does this impact your decision and ability to allocate capital in the year ahead, and how are you thinking about these challenges?
So you're right. I mean, there are challenges around in the Middle East, in Europe, in other parts of the world. I guess what we try and do is one, focus on really the markets that we know best, the themes that we have been focusing on for years, and try to ensure that we really know those markets by having good teams on the ground, by ensuring that we know, the situation in there. Now, obviously, also before that, I think before doing that, we find that in general, I think the world is more accommodating for business. I think more than some people think it is. But you really have to also watch your risks. I mean, there are places which are really risky to go to. Those we try and avoid.
How do you see this impacting deal flow in the year ahead?
So I think it depends on sectors, obviously. I mean, some of the supply chains, as you saw, in the region is going to be maybe affected, but I believe that this is something that is temporary, because markets and logistics are very good at finding ways to continue with the trade, to continue with reaching the destinations. Obviously, I think in 2023 there has been reduction in deal flow, across the world because of the macroeconomics that were there. We see increasing intention for deployment of capital and for deal flow.
Okay, so walk me through the strategy moving forward here, because I was looking over some numbers. Global PE and VC deal value and volume collapsed in 2023, actually to the lowest level in 5 years. So we have seen a really sizable and significant decline in activity. Two questions here. First of all, why did we see that pullback? And secondly, are we on track for a recovery in the year ahead?
So we believe 2024 is going to be a year where investors look at with some normalization. As we're seeing inflation coming down. We're hopeful for a number of reductions in interest rate. I don't think it will be the numbers that people talk about, but some reduction is going to be helpful.
So what do you mean by that? Do you mean no rate cuts by the end of the first quarter, for example?
Or for instance, I mean, people talk about 6, 7, times of that. I think maybe that's too optimistic. But even if you get 3, 4 in the year, I think that's a big help. And of course, as you know, it's really important. High interest rate does affect everything. It affects your exits, it affects your IPOs. So I think we will see, improvement in deal flow and improvement in activities.
What about talk of a soft landing? Is it likely to happen? It seems as if markets have certainly aligned to that view up until now.
I believe so. I think, we probably already have done, say, the soft landing, and we are still on the runway taxiing out of it, but we're still on the runway. So, I guess there are still things to look for and some challenges to deal with.
So when it comes to allocating capital, what are the asset classes and the regions that you like most in the year ahead?
So we still, positive about the markets that we have always been in. The United States, we find opportunities in Europe. The Gulf region is obviously an important market for us and gaining more importance. India, but also China and Asia. So we believe those markets are, we will continue to focus on, continue to find opportunities in.
How much money do you want to spend in the GCC region, for example, in the year ahead?
So the GCC, we're doing actually a few things. We're bringing infrastructure business in. We're focusing more on that. As I think governments offload a lot of these assets, it becomes important to do that. Our pre-IPO activities in the fund there will continue. We are looking to do more in private equity in there. So yeah, it's a region that we are really excited about, and with the coming of AI, I think it will boost the rise of the Gulf.
You mentioned two other mega markets as well, China and India. What do you like specifically about China, particularly in this environment, considering the growth and stimulus challenges there, and again in India, where the problems are also similar, but the growth opportunity is also being considered by investors worldwide?
Right. So on China, I believe the fundamentals are still there. The long-term fundamentals are still there. It's a huge market. It's at the moment, it's going through some reforms and recovery issues. But I also believe that there is probably a lag between the change in policies and then the impact that you see on the economy. And I think a bit of that is also happening in China.
I'll finish off with a question I've been asking all of our guests here at the forum, and that is, what would you say is the biggest economic or geopolitical risk factor to watch in the year ahead?
I guess geopolitics is always a risk for us. And that is something like we spoke earlier, we have to learn how to navigate and how to maybe anticipate as much as we can.
All right, so we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.